All right, guys. Welcome, everyone. Hi, it's Cindy. Thanks for joining me for another live stream here on Seeing Blind. Hopefully, everyone can hear me okay. We are having a wee bit of technical difficulties this evening, but welcome to Blind Life. Am I right? I mean, it's blind moments every day, and this is one for me this evening. But I have an interesting and awesome evening in store for you guys. I've got a special guest with me this tonight. But before I invite her and introduce her, I wanted to first welcome anyone who is a new viewer tonight or for the replay when it posts as a video on YouTube. I would love to have you guys part of the Seeing Blind community here. And so I encourage you guys, hit that subscribe button and right next to it, the notification bell. Make sure you select all on that as well so that you can catch future content as well as all of these live stream events and you can join the live stream chat. So right now, my subscribers should hopefully have gotten their notifications to join us this evening and hopefully popping in here on the chat. So if you guys are with us, go ahead, start saying hello in the chat box. Give us some whatever your funniest, whatever quirky emoji you are moved to share with us this evening to make us all smile. That would be great. And of course, if y'all wanted to let us know, are you a blind parent, a sighted parent, or maybe someday you want to be a parent? And this is something that you are just wanting to use to help connect to the community, whether blind or sighted. Hey, we've got lots of tips, tricks, hacks, and just general parenting issues to tackle. All right, so put those questions in the live chat next to me here. I'm going to try to log in as a guest on YouTube to view the live chat here coming up soon. So while I do that, I am going to turn it over to one of my guests this evening, and I'm going to let her introduce herself and all of the interesting social media stuff that she also is starting and getting it going. And all of this also, guys, you can find in the description box for her information as well. So go ahead and tell everybody who you are, girl.
Alrighty, thank you so much for having me. Hi guys, my name is Alba Mila. I am from Lima, Peru. I was born there, and I moved to the United States in 2003 when I was 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But going back a little bit, I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa when I was 6 months old. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a little tricky because no one in my family knew what that was. And
Right.
the economic status of my family wasn't the best at that time. There were a lot
Mm-hmm.
of misconceptions because of where we were living. And
Mm-hmm.
so my mom since then she just tried her best to try to find a solution for quote unquote my problem. So that's how we eventually got to travel to the US. I did my high school here. I started college right after high school, but I had to kind of like give that a break for a little bit because I got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful 12-year-old daughter, and
Yay.
yeah, she's sighted. I am legally blind, and since then my life has changed a lot because she motivated me to do so many things that I didn't think I would do in the past. I obviously wanted to give her a lesson. I want her to be more than me. So I decided to go back to college. Recently,
Mm.
yes, I obtained my degree last October. Yeah, I'm very happy about that because
Yay.
I'm the first one in my from my parents. My mom actually started going to college, but she couldn't finish. So yeah,
Yes.
definitely that was a big success for me, and I also did it for my child. So after that, I this thing with COVID happened, and I just
Mm,
wanted to do different things. So I began writing my book, sharing my story in detail, like the things I went through and how I am today and how I feel to today, because obviously a lot of things happened that helped me become the confident and strong person that I am today, that I would probably be like this 10 years ago. So yeah, I'm doing that. I also started my YouTube channel where I
mhm.
basically blog about myself. I show people what I do as a blind mother. Um,
Yeah,
I wanted to do that for a very long time because there are a lot of people out there who think that blind people don't do anything, who they just
right.
think that that we're not capable, and that is not true. That is not true. So my mission is to bring more awareness about it, and for them to respect us, because we are just like any other person. Our disability should not define us all. It's part of us. Yes,
Correct.
it is, and we unfortunately cannot do anything to change it. However,
Mm,
if this is what we got, we just gotta live it and make the best of it. So that's the main reason why I decided to come up with my channel. I also have a business. I love helping people. I want to see them happy with whatever I can. So my fiance and I, we are doing gift boxes for special occasions. So yeah,
yeah.
that's in the nutshell. That's a little bit of what I'm doing. Yeah. So
Wow. Well, so a busy mom. So you have a daughter,
right.
correct?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Great. Well, I have pulled up the chat here, and so we've got several people here in the live chat with us. So far, I only see a wonderful subscriber of mine, Mr. Corey Walker. He um, he is going
Hi.
to be hopefully up on the next live stream. Very interesting character, guys. So y'all stay tuned. You're going to hear more from him later. But let's see. I've got several. It says a couple of people are watching. So guys, make sure you type in something in that live chat. Let me know who you are. Say hello. Welcome. Any questions you have for myself? And am I pronouncing your name right? Is it Alba?
Actually, it's Alba.
Alba.
Uh,
Is that
uh-huh.
okay?
Alba, yes.
And my country twang, especially at night, y'all. Whew, it can come out and it just nothing sounds the way it should. And everyone's like, "What did she say?" And I'm like, "Well, I have to put on like my YouTube thinking pronunciation cap and try to articulate better for people because when I get my country twang going, everyone kind of has to listen a little harder to understand what I'm saying. But guys, and if you are watching this live, I encourage you guys chat, get that chat going, ask us some
Yes, yes,
questions.
yes.
Let me know where are you in your either your blindness journey? Are you a sighted supporter? Are you a friend, family member, anything like that? Do you want to someday be a parent, but the timing just hasn't happened right. You still want to plan, prepare. You still want to kind of get those words of wisdom, those gold nuggets filed away for future reference. Let us know in that chat. I'm going to try to address as much as I can to kind of help guide tonight's live stream. But I do have some general questions. So, since you have a 12-year-old, So, for any new viewer who has not currently met me yet, I have two. Mine are, uh, um, okay. So one of my guests just messaged me, and he was hoping to come up. Um, so the Cooper family, you guys, I think you're trying to watch it on YouTube. You have to go to the link I sent you in the Messenger app where it takes you into the backstage, into StreamYards, and that's how you're going to be able to enter tonight's broadcast. I am currently streaming from StreamYards. That's the platform that I generally always use to do my live streams here on Seeing Blind. And so, just for any future guests, for your future knowledge, I send out a web browser link to StreamYards. That's going to take you directly to the StreamYard's website and walk you through the process of entering the backstage. And when you enter in, I'll be able to see you guys back here and add you to the stream. So we might be able to have the Cooper family still join us this evening. They were going to join us in my first stream a couple weeks ago, but again, family issues always I mean, although with kids, y- sometimes you have to fly by the seat of your pants and throw that plan out the window and have 10 contingencies in your mind.
Yes.
And that's kind of what they had, one of those nights. Their phone, they something happened with their phone, they had to get it replaced and whatnot, and so they were not able to join it. And so hopefully they will be able to find that StreamYards link that I sent them in their Messenger app and be able to get through those StreamYards prompts to join us. But um, they are in the chat with us right now as well. So,
Oh.
let me see who else, real quick. So, back to what I was saying. So, I have a 5-year old and a 3-year old. They just turned 3 and 5. And so I'm still, kind of
Mhm.
I'm past the baby phase at least, y'all. So I can definitely speak to a lot on the baby phase. But I have a question for you, Alba, since you kind of have a 12-year-old. I am reaching those years where my oldest is starting to kind of I don't want to say take advantage, because I don't
Oh,
feel like there's times when
yeah.
she's being a little manipulative and she's testing the boundaries of what she can get away with because mommy can't see, that kind of
Right.
thing. And so this came up in the Blind Parent Alliance, I think, support group on Facebook. I saw this and I was following that thread, and it was so intriguing to me. It's something that is definitely on my radar. And so I want to know, have you had those moments? How have you addressed them as a blind parent? And like, where do you draw the line on disciplining and being too harsh or not? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
That's a very difficult topic. In my case,
Mm,
it happened. I believe it first started when my daughter was 9 or 10, and
okay.
I am going to be honest. It will continue to happen. She's 12 and
Yes.
she continued eh, does that. And so what I do is like I always tell her, like, you think because mom is blind she's not going to find out. She will, and I prove her that I will find out because I find a way.
Mm-hmm.
I have applications. I am very
Mm-hmm.
with cleanliness. I'm a very clean person, so I'm always like investigating, checking, because I know how she is. So I find out and I show her, okay, you did not do this. And when it gets me really really upset, uh, I just take her phone and her iPod away, because like they are going to put you through your limit. They will definitely do that. So there's no exact advice that I would give you, but you will need to have a lot of patience, a lot, and just try to
Mm-hmm.
show them that although you can't see it, that you will definitely find out no matter how, because it doesn't matter how you do it, but you will find out. And if they cannot behave, you have to start taking things away because
Yes.
it's
There
very
has,
stressful. It's very stressful.
yes.
And I am going through
Yes.
that right now. Like it's a freaking fight. It's just like always like, why do you do this? I know you know that I will find out. Why do you continue doing that? I just don't
Yes.
understand. Like I wish, but it's like, and I even tell her like, if you know that I'm gonna get upset, if you know that this is going to
Mm.
happen, why do you continue doing
Mhm.
it? So
Right.
it's there's no there's no exact solution to this thing, but you just gotta keep trying, trying, and finding ways. I wish I could tell you, yeah, you could do this and this will be over. Unfortunately, no. It's part of being
Yes.
a blind parent. Sorry.
Yes. Okay, I have the Cooper family with me, guys. I'm going to add you to the
Perfect.
stream. Okay, Cooper family, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am. How's it going?
Hello.
Yay! Welcome,
Hi.
welcome. The yay technology is coming through, people. Okay, well, we have some questions in the chat. I've seen some, I think, from Teresa, maybe something like that. But and so I'm going to get to the questions here in just a second. I want to welcome the Cooper family and allow them to introduce themselves, their all of their social media, any of their businesses, because I am so intrigued by you guys and your ability to start a business with two very young children. I want to hear all about it. So go ahead and tell us who you guys are, and I'm going to keep monitoring the chat room.
Awesome. You guys can hear us okay?
We can.
Amazing.
Yes, we can.
My name is Dalen Cooper, and this is my wife.
I'm Ariel Cooper.
And we are both two entrepreneurs. We live in Austin, Texas. We own an enterprise, Cooper Innovation. And underneath that enterprise, we have multiple businesses. We have iTrip, which is a travel agency. We have Your Place, which is our furniture and home goods superstore. We have Club Startup, which is a training program for entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs. We're currently developing an app, YouTube channel. We do music, and we do real estate investing and all kinds of other awesome things. So yeah, we definitely keep busy.
Extremely.
And then we have two kids, Hermione and Elijah, and Hermione is 2 and Elijah is 10 months old now.
Oh.
Um, and that's pretty
Awesome.
so.
So tell me, guys, so just I'm going to kind of start with the Cooper family, and then Alba, if you can follow up. Here is a question for you guys. So, what was your largest fear in becoming a parent? What would you say, like, if you think back to, okay, either it's a planned thing and like, okay, what are we getting ourselves into, or a surprise, whatever the situation was, what do you recall being one of the biggest fears that you just had to let go and overcome?
Um, for me, I won't necessarily say that I had many fears other than at the time when we found out that, Ariel was pregnant with our daughter Hermione. We had just gotten to Austin. We just moved out. We were just getting started on our entrepreneurial journey, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, my biggest fear at that time was money. How am I going to support my daughter? How am I going to support my family or whatever? And so that's what kind of inspired me to jump into real estate investing and things like that. And I think that at the time, that was my biggest fear, is just not having enough money or resources to support my daughter.
I have to I have to agree. I think that was the biggest thing for me too, just making sure that we had the funds to support her and get her everything that she needed, and we
Right.
were not able to get everything she needed right away. You
Right.
know, it wasn't until
Mm.
close time for her to be born that we were able to get everything that we needed. And by the time she was born, her whole room was set up and everything, you know, but it was
Mhm.
just that nesting instinct was really difficult for me, you know. So yeah, I agree that.
Now, and Alba said that, I'm sorry to interrupt. She said that she had retinitis pigmentosa earlier. Just real quick, briefly, can you all give us kind of an idea, like, of where you all are on the blindness spectrum and how that's impacted you
Yeah. So
guys?
we're both actually completely blind. I was
Okay.
a genetic condition. It's funny. It's a genetic condition, but my dad and my mother just carry the gene. They're not actually, visually impaired or anything. Both me
Mm.
and my sister have what's called coloboma, and coloboma is one of the rarest eye conditions in the world. Only a few people in the
Wow.
have it as a blind condition, because coloboma is usually a mental condition that ends up affecting your eyes. But in both mine and my sister's, and only a few people in the world, case, coloboma doesn't affect the mind; it only affects our vision, which is super interesting. Because
Wow.
like
Yeah.
doctor told my family that I should be like a vegetable. I shouldn't even be able to
Oh
speak.
wow.
Wow.
For myself, I have a rare form of glaucoma. It's called Peter's anomaly. It
Okay.
just comes in, it just swoops in, snatches your vision in a matter of like 24 to 48 hours, and it's gone.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it does. You know, I was born with it in my right eye.
Okay.
They eye when I was 3, and I could see pretty well out of my left eye with, you know, some magnification and things like that. When I was 9, I lost that eye as well, and now I have 2 prosthetic eyes.
Okay. And so going into being parents, it was none of the sight loss that was your concern. It was more monetary.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like honestly, I
Okay.
wasn't
I'm
about not being able to take care of our
Yeah,
daughter at the time because
my
of our
blindness doesn't scare me.
that wasn't a fear of ours, and just because we had already at that time in our lives we were already doing the scariest thing we could possibly think to do, and that
Right.
was coming to Austin with only
Yes.
dollars in our pocket. So we having a kid was just it,
Icing on the cake.
yeah, it was just it wasn't as scary as everything else we were doing.
Right. Yes. Okay. Alba, what about you?
Well, my side of the story is a bit different. I had my daughter when I was 20 years old. I was very
Uh-huh.
young, and I obviously didn't want to get pregnant. I didn't want to have a child at that time. I was in my second semester of college,
Mm.
and yes, I was very nervous. I had the fear that I wasn't going to be able to care for my child, because at that time I was losing more and more sight. I still have some, but
Mm-hmm.
I just these thoughts came into my head, not knowing what would happen, not knowing what to do. So it took me some time. I am also a single parent, just so you know. So my mom actually was the one who supported me, who helped me. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, I wouldn't be able to finish college if she wouldn't be by my side helping me. So I kind of had to took my time. At the time, I
Mm-hmm.
did not know
Mm-hmm.
any other blind parent beside
Wow.
me. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to figure that on my own. But
Yes.
after a while, then I just figure it out, and I'm very blessed that although I had a child at a very young age, she just helped me grow, and I wouldn't change anything. and even if I have to go back, no, I would live the same thing. I would do the same thing because she's a a a blessing for me. So
Yes. Well, that is beautiful, guys. Okay, so really two interesting perspectives here, and
right.
I find that
Hmm.
so intriguing. I mean, for me as a blind mom, I was kind of later in life when my husband and I decided to have children, and I had so many fears, but mine were mostly safety related. I was really,
Hmm.
really concerned, like, oh my goodness, what if my child is choking like silently?
Hmm.
And there are lots of visual cues, but not enough auditory cues for
Mm.
me to discern what was going on. And so I would have a lot of anxiety over, okay, what if this happens? What if that happens? Well, all of these worst case scenarios that like is a 0.0009% chance of happening to anybody, like, but I would
Yes,
take the
definitely.
worst case scenario and then use my blindness as the thing that prevents me from being able to manage that situation. And I quickly realized, and this kind of leads me into one of our chat questions here. We don't have many yet, so if anyone is just joining us, please put any questions, comments in the chat so that we can see, or at least I can. I should say here with voiceover who is with us. And but I heard one of our questions is how do we deal or handle a newborn as a blind parent? And so I think someone is kind of curious with dealing with a newborn. And for me personally, there were a lot of challenges there, especially with my son.
Mhm.
We did have him circumcised, and so there were some wound issues there in managing those first few weeks. But let me first put everyone at ease, because I feel like when it is your child, it is a complete different ballgame. It's so different than when you
Mhm.
hold someone else's child. You are so in tuned. You become so hyper aware of every little sound they make and
Mhm.
their little movements. And you, of course, hold them so much. You become very, very aware of what their bodies can need and can handle, and all what all their little noises mean. And so for a blind parent, it is no different than a sighted parent when it comes to a newborn handling and managing and caring for a newborn. It's absolutely no different. I think there are some challenges for some breastfeeding moms, and for those who are trying to figure out all the feeding issues, measuring formula or whatever. But guys, there are tricks, there's hacks, there are products out there now. We are in a great technology age for the blind, and that definitely goes for parenting as well. So, if anyone is continuing to have struggles in the newborn age, you all are welcome to put any questions to me or to any of our channels or anything like that. All of that should be found in the description box, how you can get a hold of any of us. But you're also welcome to comment if this is the replay video you are watching. Any future questions regarding this. But guys, what do you all think? Did you all have any issues just from those initial newborn months?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
In my case, I was so afraid of bathing my child.
Oh, yeah.
I was super afraid because like like I said, they're just so little, and you just don't want to
Mm.
harm them. And I never carried a baby like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, after her, so everything was new to me.
Yes.
So um, my mom again, she played a huge role in that. So she just helped me. She made me feel how she bathed my daughter. She started helping me build that confidence
Mm.
in terms of bathing her. And after a couple of months, I was able to do that. But that is just one example. But I wanna I totally agree with that thing you said. It becomes that natural instinct where you can feel your child. You know when your baby's crying for pain, or when your baby needs something. And
Yeah.
I was saying to another person yesterday, is your child, they're really smart. Like, they know. I don't know from starting when, but they know. It's like I feel that they know, okay, my mommy cannot see me. So it's like there's that connection, and where, believe it or not, I feel that they help you know in no way, because that's what happened to me, at least.
Mm.
So yeah.
I think for me, with a newborn, some of the fears that I could have had were put at ease because I wasn't doing it alone. I wasn't a single mom. So some of my
Mm.
fears were put at ease because I had help, so I commend you for
Yes.
learning how to take care of your child on your own and being able to say, hey, I don't really know how to do this, so I need help, and advocating for yourself in that way. I commend you for that. That's freaking awesome.
When we
Thank you.
um for both Hermione and Eli, the one thing that I will say about me and Ariel is that, I mean, we're business partners, and so that really reflects our parenting as well, because um, we work together on a lot of things, and we just, like, everything that we do is a partnership. Our entire lives, we work together, and so with both Hermione and Eli, when we were when they were both newborns, it was I won't say it was hard, because for us, if I needed to pick up the slack one moment, I was able to. If Ariel was, if I hired Ariel, was able to take over. I think the hardest part for me was with both. Well, with Hermione, she was breastfed. With Eli, he was bottle fed, and he still is bottle fed. And I
Mm.
know that with Eli, it's a lot easier for it to be 50-50. Where with Hermione, I did do as much as I could, but because she was breastfed, I wasn't the one up in the middle of the night to feed like that. But that was a little bit difficult. But as far as like anything related to our blind, because we work together so well, things like giving the baths and things like that, we just worked out and established a routine in a way that we went about it.
That's
Because
really like our thing, just
yeah,
having a routine. If I had to say that I had any struggles, none of them were blindness related. They were all just mom related. With Hermione, I had a pretty good pregnancy, and then after she was
Mm.
born, dealt with a little bit of postpartum. That was really hard for me. And then I was breastfeeding, and so that attachment thing that she had was really difficult for me because I was a little bit of that, and so
Mm.
it was kind of hard. But again, I wasn't doing it alone, so I had my support system to be like, hey, it's gonna be okay. With Eli, the after he was born, oh my goodness, it was peaches and cream. He was super easy, especially because we had already had a child, and so it was just like
yeah,
super easy with him. But
and
my pregnancy was hard.
yeah.
I struggled a lot during my pregnancy with him, so it was kind of flip flop with each of them.
And then the thing that I think too, for us, we don't we didn't at the time any family out here in Austin with us.
Yeah, that was all
It's
us.
always just been me and Ariel and our kids, and so we didn't have anybody to, like,
Hmm.
help us out when we needed anything. Both of my family's in North Carolina, her family's in Dallas, Texas. So if we ever needed anything, we had to
Figure it
figure it
out.
out.
Being
You know what I
pregnant with
mean?
Eli,
Right.
having him with the doctors and appointments and stuff was probably hard because I mean it was hard because it was COVID, and I kind of felt like I went through that part of my pregnancy by myself the second time, but it wasn't
Mm,
because of us. It was just the situation.
Yeah, we had COVID, and then
right.
I was focusing on working, and we were, we still had a business to run. So um, at the time, it was just really difficult because I was picking up a lot of the slack with our business at the time, and then she was pregnant and she was home with her mind. So the pregnancy was very difficult for her, as far as like on her body, and then I wasn't there to support her because I was working so much.
Mm,
And this was right
right.
after COVID. So if there was like a lot of our issues when it comes
We're
to
just
being
relationship
parents,
wise
yeah.
and just normal stuff, you know?
Right. Wow. So, I mean, I think the main takeaway really for I think all three of us regarding this is like you do what you got to do and you learn what you have to learn. And
Exactly.
there's a way. There's a way to do it and something to learn for every situation. And so, I think a lot of people who have this fear or doubt, there's a lot of in the sighted community who really because they don't understand and can't see how things are done without vision, they do doubt our abilities, and so that transfers to us, before we have our children. Like, oh well, how am I going to do this? There is a way. And you do learn what you have to learn and you figure it out just like
Mhm.
everybody else. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you're sighted or not. I think all parents have millions of situations about their parenthood. They just have you have to figure it out. There is no book. There is no one answer fits all, and so we figure it out, right? And we learn what we got to and do what we got to do. So we've got several more people who have joined, and so welcome, guys. Just go ahead put in the chat box any questions you may have. We're just kind of going by the seat of our pants here tonight, so please let us know who you are, and I'd love to get to know you guys as well. So I am curious, the Cooper family, y'all have started and grown a very successful business and become entrepreneurs while growing your family. That it has that has really amazed me because it's hard enough just to get a freaking YouTube channel going, you guys, with two children. I can't imagine, trying to build something and your income is dependent on it. I'm just amazed. So tell me, what has been some of the family dynamic, as far as your all's family dynamics, what has been the biggest challenge, I guess, there in not only growing a business, growing your children and managing your all's blindness and disabilities. What has been the biggest struggle and what is your secret for managing and overcoming all of it?
I think that recently is when we kind of started to really hit our stride.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
been trial and error, especially after having two kids. I was pregnant what seemed like a very long time. And, and with Eli, I was home. I was pretty much on bed rest. Like I had sciatica bad on both sides. I had
Mm-hmm.
pelvic problems because he was a heavier baby and just all kinds of stuff. And so I was sick all the time with him. I couldn't eat. I couldn't, all types of stuff. And so I was home a lot. And so that kind of ruined whatever routine that we had tried to establish, with just Hermione. And after having him, he, was a born baby. And then we had a toddler. And so just trying to figure out how to manage it. I think our biggest thing was just time management and figuring a schedule that worked for us,
Right.
And so now we have it down to a T. In the mornings, it's either Dalen's day or my day. We go back and forth. If it's his morning,
Wow. Okay.
usually wake up, if it's a good day, we'll wake up at 2 a.m. If it's a I don't want to get out of bed day, we'll probably wake up around 4:30. And we take that time in the morning because we don't get it in the evening. We take that time in the morning to spend with each other and to get whatever we need to get done that we probably can't do during the day. Sometimes we'll go to the office, sometimes we won't. We wake up. If it's day, he'll feed him, and I'll take Hermione. I'll feed her, and get our day started.
Yeah.
We do some work. We pause and have like 3 dance parties with the kids, and then we'll go back to work while they're playing or napping or whatever it is that they're doing. It's just about creating the schedule.
Yeah.
And then as they get older and they start becoming more independent, it's a little bit easier just to keep your ears on them and focus on whatever you're on as well.
And then the thing is about us too, we had to, so when you're starting any business, and this is like the best tip I can give somebody who's a parent, and not just a blind parent, but any parent for that matter. When you're starting any business, going to require you to build that business is going to be just the amount of time that you're going to need to spend raising your kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we
call our businesses our babies,
right?
And we have a lot of babies.
Yeah, we have 2 physical children, but we really have 8 if you include all of our businesses. And it's just like she was saying, time management is really important. We have our office, which is literally right around the corner, walking distance, 2 minutes away from our condo. So we often will walk to work, just to the office if we need that peace and quiet. And then we do have our nanny that we hired.
Oh my gosh!
Recently, a few months ago,
I just recently
really
discovered that I love having a nanny.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, yeah. We all. I don't care. I don't care what parent you are. Every parent needs some space from their children. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom or you're building a business or you're full-time work. I mean, space is a golden thing, and yeah, I can see. I would love a nanny too. That's amazing. Alba, I wanted to check in with you real quick. What is your secret to, because I believe you became a rec therapist, is that correct?
Yes, I finished. I actually have a degree, yes, in therapeutic recreation or recreation therapy.
Yes, and so have you been able to work full time, and how did you manage working full time and transportation and all that jazz with a little one?
Well, I only did my internship and practicum, so
Okay.
I didn't get to work on that, especially with this whole thing with COVID, because it requires us to be in hospitals, long-term care
Yeah.
settings, and I'm asthmatic,
Yes.
and I have my mom, my child, and definitely my life comes first. So
Yes.
I am not practicing what I study at this time.
Yes.
So that's the reason why I had to come up with alternatives, and
Yes.
this is where I started with my YouTube, my small business, in which I want to say that Mr. Cooper kind of helped me with that. So yes, thanks to
Awesome.
him. Yes. So yeah, that's where we
So
are
you
at.
two, did you know each other before this evening?
I only met him. Yes, I only met talked to him once. Yes, I didn't have the pleasure to meet his wife.
Very nice to meet you. I was there for your interview. I was just
Oh, you were? Okay.
but you're
Wow.
Right.
What a small world, y'all. There you go. So serendipitous this evening. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, that's wonderful. Okay. So, but you were able to go to school though as a parent, or was that 2 different points for you?
No, yes. So I actually started school right after high school. So I only did a couple semesters. After I had my child, I decided to go back to school when my daughter started pre-K, and since then
Okay.
I didn't stop. So she went to school. Mommy did the same thing
There
also.
you go. Rock on, girl.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, one of our chat questions here, let me sneak one in just real quick. And I'm so sorry, Ari, if I cut you off earlier. I'll give you a chance to come back in with that last thought. But real quick, I wanted to get in Corey's question here. He asks, what are some of the non-visual skills we had to learn? So, I guess, like, as blind parents, what are some of those non-visual things that we did have to learn, I guess, to and correct me, Corey, if I'm kind of reading in between the lines here wrong, but as far as non-visual, what I guess how we accommodated or what we had to learn to compensate for that. So, what do you all think? Non-visual skills. What did you have to learn?
I think that a great non-visual skill that I would have to say that um, I definitely got better at. I was already pretty good at it, but like being able to listen to your children and do other things at the same time, multitasking.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yes, yes,
auditorily.
100%.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
when it comes to, especially like with my daughter Hermione, like that was my first child, so I was, I had to learn how to. Um, I just had to learn how to have my one headphone on, but I'm still listening for her if she wakes up and things like that. That was a super important skill to learn because you mentioned earlier, also um, things like not knowing if like they're choking and things like that. It wasn't necessarily a fear, but I knew that I needed to overcompensate when it comes to like what I'm listening for in order to make sure
Mm,
that I was paying attention to my daughter, and even with my son, and even now when the kids are playing, our nanny could be here, and we could be in the back in our office or whatever in the back, and I could hear Eli, if he's crying or something's wrong with him or whatever, if he has something in his mouth, I'll know from way in the back room. So it's just important as a blind parent to use all of your senses a lot more, because you don't have that visual sense. I think that's super important.
Yes,
yeah.
I totally agree with that. And to add to that, I feel that we have to be more hands on everything we
Mm.
do. So that's like with me, being able to feed my child, so touch her like where her mouth was located,
Mm,
being just doing. I had to do this things like more than one one time because I obviously couldn't see it. So I had to be really hands on that. And yeah, feeling stuff like probably I overdid it because I wanted to make sure that I was doing it right. But
yes.
I feel that that helped me too, because I just couldn't see. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
would
think
agree.
touch, if, yeah, touch.
yes, definitely
I mean,
touchiness.
I think auditory, yes, I totally, Darren, I totally agree with you on that because, and it's funny how innate it becomes. It
Hmm.
becomes something that it's like you become so hyper aware, but you don't really know that you are until you are, it's like one
Exactly.
of those innate parental things that just kick in and you don't realize how so my husband is sighted. There's so much more that I am in tune with and hear before he even sees, if that makes
Yes.
sense, y'all.
Yes, it
And
does.
Yeah.
I think auditorily, I definitely depended on my hearing when they were reaching the crawling stage and just getting that walking stage. And two, touch is another huge thing that I had to use a little bit more, I guess, brain power with. I had to be a little bit more aware and conscious because, for example, diaper rash. I had to learn what that felt like
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
discern, okay, and I had to learn, okay, what their skin feels like when they're completely wiped and I've gotten all the poo off their butt or potty wipe again. And and unfortunately it's a dirty task that every blind person has to do. We got to touch it
Yes, we
all, y'all,
do.
and you can't be afraid to do it. And so I think that learning to use your hearing and to use your sense of touch to compensate for your lack of sight. Some of it comes so naturally you don't realize you're doing it. And some things, yeah, you do have to touch it a few times to, oh yeah, that's what that feels like. That's why they're, more uncomfortable today. Or, just that there's so many things that are like that, but you will find that every single thing, it falls in one of those categories, whether it's auditory or it's something that you can perceive with touch. So, yeah, very, very interesting there, guys. I'm going to check in with the chat. Let's see, anybody else got a question for us? It looks like we're hovering around 4 or 5 people watching this evening, so not terrible considering I'm just kind of getting the ball rolling with these things. Thank you all so much for joining me. I am going to close it out, though, I think, with one more question. And this is kind of like your holy grail product or your holy grail purchase or something, whatever your accessibility gadget, or it could not, it just could be just your favorite baby product. But over the course of having your children to date, what is one thing that has stood out to you that you're like, oh my God, this thing every blind parent needs to have kind of thing? What would that be for y'all?
Oh my gosh, can I have two?
No, let me
Of
take.
course.
I
Of
think I know which one you're gonna say.
What, her Arnie?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the one I was
okay, you
gonna
can
say.
say that. You can
Okay,
say
okay.
that.
Go ahead, go ahead. What's your favorite?
Well, he's gonna take my favorite, but my second favorite would probably be the Boon Spoon.
Ooh,
I
that's a good one.
loved the Boon Spoon. Oh my goodness!
okay,
So it's
spell
a
it. Is it
spoon.
Boon or
I think it is Boon. I have to go take a look, but I think
okay?
that's what it is. Um,
Boon Spoon. Okay, tell us about that.
it's a spoon that you can put the baby food, or Hermione had a applesauce phase, and things like that, and you just put it right inside of the part that you hold on to, and it's a squishy part, and then you screw the top back
Hmm.
on, which is the spoon, and there's a little hole in the spoon, and you just kind of squeeze a little bit, and a little bit of it comes out onto the spoon, and you just
Pop it
slide
right in
it
the
in their mouth.
baby's mouth.
And what I would do is put it in her
Wow.
mouth and then press it so that it would go right into
Yeah.
her mouth.
Hmm.
Oh, were you
Favorite.
able to? Were you? I mean, is there a way? Is there? Is it possible, I guess, to squeeze like too much into their mouth? Like, I would be afraid. I like, here's my safety anxiety coming in, y'all. I'd be afraid I'd be like drowning them with applesauce or something, like
No, I
choke
think
them or
it's
something. Is there a?
you. You just like we've been talking about the whole time. You know your kid.
Yeah.
You know when
Yes,
they're
I
getting
see.
too much, and don't squeeze it, don't
Yeah,
Yes.
overdo
it,
it or
all
whatever.
all it took, like what we
Just one
did
little
was
squeeze.
before even like trying it on her, like we would play around with it, like just
We would
squeezing
try it
it
on
to see how
ourselves.
hard we have to
I
squeeze it and
see.
everything,
Yeah.
and then we let
Then we
her
would give
try
it to
it.
her. Yeah.
Um, my favorite gadget is something that we got recently, which oh my goodness,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the best thing in the world. So, it's a
Waze Rider.
it's called the Waze Rider harness for toddlers, and so this
Okay.
thing is awesome because so one thing that we're always going somewhere. We're constantly taking Ubers and Lyfts. Like I don't. That's pretty much the only means of transportation we use is Uber and Lyft everywhere. And one
Yes.
of the frustrations that I had was the huge, humongous car seat that you have to
Yeah, those
lug around,
convertible
Oh my
cars.
and
God,
then
yes.
having
Ugh.
two
Yes.
kids, you know,
Yeah.
we have, you know, Eli's baby car seat, and then Hermione had this huge, ginormous car seat. And guess who gets to carry all that stuff when we go places?
You.
So, right. So the trick
So you,
that we
daddy
found
becomes the mule then, huh?
exactly. So the trick that the Waze Rider harness is it gives a 3 point safety that kids need in the car, but it's just a harness that we put on. It's like a vest that my daughter would wear, and then she can sit in the car like
In a
in a
regular,
regular
yeah.
seat, and we just take the car seat belt and it goes through the loops of her harness and straps in to create the 3 point safety. And that Waze Rider harness vest
Oh
is like
wow.
rated like the one of the top car seats for children.
It's been, all the certifications.
Yeah,
It's
it has
been,
all this. Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
what it is, it clips in the front, and then there's a strap on each leg, and it
Mhm.
clips on each leg, and then there's these little clips, one on each leg, and then one on each shoulder. And so, for example, if she's sitting behind the driver's seat, the strap that
Strap will
goes over
go.
your body will
Will
go
go
over her
across her.
left.
Yeah.
It will go through her left clip,
Loop thing. Yeah.
and then down across her body and through the right clip on her right leg, and then you
Clip it in.
clip it
Oh
in.
And
wow.
Yeah.
so when we're getting out of the car, now all I gotta do is unbuckle her from the seat. She gets out. I grab Eli's car seat. We hold her hand, and we're off.
Yeah.
You know,
And she
and
doesn't
that's
mind
it.
wearing it.
Okay,
She
and that harness, you what? How does it spell? How do you pronounce it again?
Ways
Waze
rider.
Rider.
Ways right. Okay, guys, I'm going to try to after this uh, stream is completed, I will try to edit the description box and add these product links for anyone
I
in
can
the
get you the
future.
link to both of them.
Awesome. Yes, please. That would be awesome. And then I will either put it in the comment section below, guys, or in the description box for anyone who is curious about those. All but what about you? Your daughter is 12, so you've got a little bit more ground there to pull from. What do you think has been to date your holy grail kind of, and it can be like something technology, it could be on the web, it could be a website or I don't anything.
Well, when she was little, I we didn't have that stuff. So with me, I wasn't that lucky. Um,
Mhm.
but the only thing that I can say, well, that I used a lot, especially when she was what 3, 4, 5 years old, walkie-talkie, because she wanted to walk, and I needed to listen where she
Yes.
was, okay,
Oh,
and
yeah.
also my voice. I mean, me, it's a little bit more not technological based. So whenever we used to go to the park, but this happened when she was already what 6, 7 years old. I already knew how the park that I used to take her looked like.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
my daughter always knew where she needed to go. I'm very privileged in that sense. She wasn't sneaky in that part. If she told me she will be in this particular section, I will make sure that she was. So she was there, and what I used to do, I used to scream. I used to call her name, and I didn't
Hmm.
care if people will look at me, because at the end of the day, I am doing what I need to do, because my daughter is a child. She wants to go to a park like any all other kid, and I had to find ways to make it happen.
Yeah.
So I knew where my daughter was, and now I have because she recently started using her phone. She has a cell phone now. What I do have now is Life 360 and Family Link. These apps I use
Oh,
like to, because she has an Android and I am not an Android user. I'm sorry. I always use Apple products.
same here,
So
girl.
yeah,
Yeah.
so since she has her Android from the Family Link, I can basically check where she's at, like what she's doing, which app she's using, how long has she been using it, so I can control her phone from mine. With Life 360, she let's say when she walks to the park now, obviously without me, she goes out with her friends, I can still track where she's going. And I believe this is not an app only
Beautiful.
for blind people. It's just for everyone. So like I
Yeah.
can see where what which street she's at and things like that. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
That's
using.
very, very
Wow, that's
helpful.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, it is. And with the
Awesome.
Life 360 app, there, if there's an emergency, if there's something there, there's a button for them and for myself also, so that they can call the police if there's an emergency. So I like that feature there as well. It's a very good
Yes.
one.
Very good.
Yes. A
Hmm.
good safety feature there.
Hmm.
Well, thank you guys so much. I too will put anything that I think of in the description box later on. I don't want to take up too much of your all's time. We have been on here for a good while. It's already been an hour. I can't believe it.
Oh
So
wow, really?
I
It was
know,
so fast.
right? It's
That's what
already
happens
been
when
an
you have
hour.
a wonderful time.
Right.
Yes, yes. And blind, I think discussions like this for the blind community are so important.
Important.
And I
Yes,
think there's
I
so
agree.
much to be shared. There's so much to be learned from each other because, why recreate the wheel, you know? And if we have found something that has made our journey so much easier, why, I mean, we would want to shout that from the highest mountain. And so this is my mountain. I am so blessed and grateful by you guys joining me here on my mountain on Seeing Blind and letting the community know and hopefully learn some tips and tricks and gold nuggets from you guys. I can't wait to have you guys back on the show again in the future. So if you all want to remind everybody, if you have a website or a channel or anything that you would like them to come find more of you on, go ahead and plug that now. And I will say goodbye, my goodbyes right now to you guys. And thank you, any viewer, for watching and joining us this evening and in the future.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, if you guys want to check out more of what we do, you can check out cooperinnovation.com, and you can also check out Cooper TV, which is our YouTube channel. But if you go to cooperinnovation.com, there's a link to our channel, all of our businesses, and pretty much everything that we're doing right from there.
Alrighty. Well, guys, it was a pleasure to meet you all, to see you guys again. I really had a wonderful time, and you can definitely follow me on YouTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find me as Dawn Miles Official, and on Instagram as Dawn.miles_official. And please, let's just support all of us. Let's be together, not divide
Yeah,
us. And yeah, we're here to, yeah, if you guys have any questions, if there's anything that we can help, then definitely reach out to us. Thank you so much for having me here tonight.
great.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much. All right, that's it, y'all. I'm going to sign out. Here we go. Sorry.